Well, it's Father's Day today. Time to get in touch with your father, or the father figure in your life. Unless you're spending the day with him, like I would be if I wasn't doing this show, and we'll call him when we're done here. And to those of you not on good terms with your paternals, I didn't specify that you have to say good things when you get in touch. But hey, every family is different, so you do you. I'm going to commemorate this day with a poetry reading. It's a catchy number by a charming group called FGFC 820. The title is Doctrine. It's got some good life lessons for the kids and a message or two for the adults about being a role model and leading by example. When he was a little boy, his father used to say, "You want to grow to be a man? You'd better start today." Listen closely to my words, and I will show you how. There's 7 steps to manhood, and I'll teach them to you now. The only thing you'll ever own is what you hold inside. Your dignity, intelligence, your loyalty and pride. Ego and indifference are cancers of the weak. Honesty is godliness. Be truthful when you speak. If you want to be remembered when your earthly life is through, then teach your sons to leave a mark on everything they do. Know when to turn the other cheek. Know when to seek revenge. The vine that never picks a side dies rotting on the fence. Son, you want to grow up? Think you ought to slow up. I see disaster in everything you do. Dad, when I grow up, things are gonna blow up. I'm gonna be a man just like you. And when the son became a father, then he told his children too. Be mindful of the things I say and not the things I do. It's very hard to be the man you read about in books. The knights and kings you fantasized, now commoners and crooks. But no one can imprison an educated mind. So be yourself and free yourself by learning all the time. If you should discover you've given all you can, then there is nothing more to answer for. That is how to be a man. Son, you want to grow up? Think you ought to slow up. I see disaster in everything you do. Dad, when I grow up, things are gonna blow up. I'm gonna be a man just like you. Now, weren't those some good lessons? One that I particularly like was, know when to turn the other cheek, know when to seek revenge. Because a lot of mainstream outlets will tell you that revenge is bad. Revenge is not the answer. But I believe there is a time and a place for everything. I mean, sure, an eye for an eye will make us all blind, but I'll be damned if I tell you to be submissive. And no, I'm not inciting violence here. Revenge doesn't have to be violent. It's about letting people know they cannot disrespect you with impunity. But once again, you gotta know when to turn the other cheek as well. I'm just saying that it's sometimes the answer. But back to the overall song. Essentially, it's about futile attempts to put an old head on young shoulders. I mean, you might think you know better, and you probably do, but that's because you've lived through it. The kids aren't going to truly learn the lesson until they've repeated your mistakes and learned from them as you have. I mean, last year, for example, I was talking to my dad about how boring Australia was and how I was flirting with the idea of packing up and moving to the United States. And he warned me about how moving overseas without any money or a plan is a bad idea. And all I was thinking was, worked out for you, didn't it? But as 2016 spiraled out of control, I decided I'd give it another year or 2 before I made any kind of commitment. But speaking of my dad, y'all can see where I get my good looks from. And all things considered, I think he's done a pretty good job. I mean, I know I wasn't the easiest. And I do apologize that I didn't get to doing this show in time for a Mother's Day special, but rest assured, you will have your moment in the spotlight too. So we here at Alternative Factors would like to wish you all a happy Father's Day. I'm Connor O'Loughlin, and until next time, stay woke, people.